What's up, guys? I just picked up a bike today that is going to be an absolute blast of a project, and something as I was driving home, I'm thinking about doing a little different than I normally do. So I picked up a 1989 KDX200. These are great bikes. They're hard to find in good condition, and they're even harder to find all there. Well, I found one that was in decent condition, but definitely all there. So I want to take you a walk around just as I bought it, and tell you a little bit about the bike, what I learned from the seller, and kind of what I'm thinking about doing going forward. So here we go. All right, so I literally just unloaded this bike. I had no plans on buying a motorcycle today, none whatsoever. But this thing popped up on Marketplace, and I immediately messaged the seller, and they had literally just listed it. So I knew it was either take advantage of it now or it'd be gone. So got my kitty in the video here. So what we got's a 1989 KDX200. All original bike. Everything on here is original. The OE plastics, seat cover with all the bird poop, tank with I don't know what's on it. The plastics all original. Basically everything is original to the bike, except for maybe tires. I don't think those tires came on it, and of course the FMF exhaust. Otherwise, it's all there. It's been in the same family as far as we know. I am missing the headlight itself, and but otherwise we got a good base right here. So definitely stay tuned for what is to come on this bad boy right here. So got the 89 KDX 200 behind me here. As you can see, I've got basically what's going on here today is I'm going to go ahead and, well, I've already pulled the air box off, which you can see there in the floor. I've got the very nasty carburetor off. This thing was ridiculous filthy. I've already done some cleaning on the inside of it just to spray some of the gunk and crap out of it. Going to clean the carburetor a little better. I've got the jets out. Need to really clean those, probably replace them. I've got a new air filter for the air box. I'm going to go ahead and wash it. And I am going to do something a little nuts here. I'm going to go ahead and get this cleaned up, put the fuel tank back on, put some new fuel in it, and air filter, a fuel line, and I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to try to fire this thing up. So that's kind of where I'm at on this one. And yikes, who thinks this thing's going to start? I don't know. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned for that. As promised, we're going to try to fire up the 1989 KDX 200 today. So just to give you a kind of an update from where I am here, and I've kind of went through the process the short time I've had it. Basically I've got clean gas in it. I've cleaned the carburetor out. The throttle was stuck, so got that taken care of. The carburetor itself was disgusting. Looked like it had 35-year-old gas and oil in it, so cleaned it up. Put a new air filter in it. I drained the oil expecting to see sludge, and I didn't. I saw good oil, so I was real surprised at that, but I put new Maxima oil back in it, put the silencer back on it, put the seat back on it, and I'm going to just try to fire it off for the first time. This could be a terrible idea, and if this takes me like 37 kicks, I will go ahead and cut that out. So let's see what happens. Never fired up before. The choke doesn't stay on, so that could be interesting, but let's see what happens. Stayed up that time. be that 37 kicks I was talking about. That's a bouncy rear shock. I don't know, guys. I don't believe she's gonna do it. Now, I do have spark. Check that. So that's not it, but oh no. We'll see what happens. So, prognosis negative. Part 2 coming up. All right, guys, take 2 as promised. So, while I had the camera off, I decided to check the fuel, make sure the fuel was actually getting into the carburetor. Sure enough, it wasn't. I pulled the fuel line off, I turned the fuel on, nothing happened. So I switched it over to the reserve, started to flow. Now I've got myself a nice little fuel leak, but that's to be expected. I just needed fuel to get into the carburetor. I kicked it about 2 or 3 times, and lo and behold, the thing fired up. So, take 2 for you guys. I am going to go ahead and put it back on reserve. Let's see what she does. So curiosity got the best of me, and I am curious if this thing will fire up on 1 or 2 kicks completely cold after getting it started yesterday. So what's your guess? 1, 2, 3, 50? About to find out. I'm not even going to choke it. I'm just going to kick it. Here we go. You are joking. You are joking. That's nuts. That's completely nuts. I expected it to take at least 2 or 3. Now I've got a fuel leak like nobody's business, but that's all right. There you have it. 1 kick, guys. So at this point, you can see that there's a lot of problems underneath. The frame was broken, and it's been welded back, but terrible weld. And there's just some general, basically some bad fixes on this thing over the years. So I've got it tore down now that we know the thing runs. It was just something I wanted to do. I've got it basically down to the bare frame. I've seen a lot of stuff on here that's going to have to get fixed correctly. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I think I'm going to see if I can get this frame welded, or I might even see if I can find a replacement frame. So stay tuned for part 2.